Hello there, it's the Duck Spinosaur here with an episode of Sicherheit Paleo Reserve. Now, this is as you can see, this is not Minecraft. It's going to be a special episode of Sicherheit, because I was bored a couple of weeks back, I decided to build my Paleo Reserve in Jurassic Evolution, so this will be a Sicherheit special. So this is kind of this is the entrance. I'm on Nublar North, but I'm Jurassic Era, so I have to have the ugly entrance. Over here, starting off with the stuff that's most important yet least appealing to look at. It's the hatchery. So I decided that 2 hatcheries is honestly the best one if you're just making something in Sandbox, along with the ACU and 2 greenhouses, so I can do so I can have all the plants for paleobotany. So it's honestly, this is just the essentials. Oh god, I don't like. I guess we follow the path and it's on the monorail station. Well, monorail. And I'm just going to put it up. So from here, let's go this way, because this is the way I kind of built it, so... We are here. So, oh god. So from here, we can either go forwards towards the Innovation Centre or backwards. And since there's nothing over here, I'm going to go backwards first. I decided to, since I had a bit of space and I didn't really know what to do with it, I decided to make like an arboretum. So I've got one of as many different types of trees. So I've got redwoods, the big giant oak, just the normal, like vanilla trees, palm trees, lots of trees, pretty much, just that. So, and from the visitor centre, well, the innovation centre, you can head in towards the innovation centre. I quite like this path. And so from here, hang on if I just kind of go up into the air. There's a whole little area, one with a couple of shops and a large amount of and a good bit of plaza. I quite like making plazas. It's quite fun. It's just big areas which you can make easily. We've arrived at our first exhibit, who is a single Metrocanthosaurus. I kind of wanted to make it like a nice private exhibit for a smaller, medium-sized carnivore. I'd say the Metrocanthosaurus in this game is just like a little puppy dog. It's so cute. It's cute for a giant murder animal, but yeah. And yeah, so pretty much the way I made this is kind of like, it's like a big reserve with way larger exhibits than the animals technically would need, but it's more like, so just bigger enclosures with a bit more stuff in them, paleobotany, and I also kind of like to create a little headcanon, so a lot of the animals here are going to be kind of endangered. So I kind of chose different animals that I would think would probably be more endangered in a world where all of these different dinosaurs from different eras are coexisting. So, hang on, I'm just going to quickly go up again. So from the monorail station over there, the monorail goes around to here. So you haven't missed anything. This is the sauropod conservation area. So once again, we have a big plaza, which is surrounded by a fence. We have a gift shop, and I think a gift shop and a restaurant. Fair enough. So the first exhibit in here is a big Nigrosaurus exhibit. I tried to make it kind of like a proper deserty kind of exhibit. Did that Nigrosaurus just burp? I need to know if someone heard that, because I think that Nigrosaurus just burped. But I do quite like I really like these guys, but again, I can kind of see that out of all of the animals, they've probably become endangered because they're... Oh god, I left capture mode. Oops. Oh, give me a second. But yeah, so I kind of see them becoming a bit more endangered than other species, just because while they are big, there are plenty of large carnivores like T-Rex and Giga, and they're very slow compared to a hadrosaur of the same size. So I would say that they kind of did. So yeah, this is probably one of the small enclosures per dinosaur and amount of dinosaur. I really quite like these guys. They're like little chunky hippos. However, this is, I think, the biggest the biggest thing in the entire park. And I mean, I would do the Jurassic tour, but it'll take a very long time, and I kind of want to get this tour done, so I just kind of follow the route. So this enclosure is mainly Camarasaurus and Diplodocus. It's an idea I had for a Morrison formation exhibit beforehand, but I think it kind of works since these are both kind of smaller sauropods. So I got some Camarasauruses here. Camarasaurus, out of all the dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution, is one of the most underrated. Another kind of contender for being endangered as such is also whether the community uses it too much. So, for example, I don't see as much Diplodocus or Camarasaurus in exhibits compared to something like a Brachiosaurus or an Apatosaurus. Following the thing, yeah, I made the Paleo feeders as well. It's got another little plaza up here. This is like a canyon. It's like a Morrison formation canyon with a few layers. So we have some coastal Diplodocuses who have been. Diplodocus is possibly my favourite sauropod in the game, maybe behind Brachiosaurus. And I have this one Diplodocus who's arid. I wanted him to be kind of like an albino Diplodocus, but there's no. This is the closest thing that we could have. And there's one more animal in the exhibit who's the biggest animal in the entire park. So I decided to have a Dreadnoughtus in here, just kind of spice it up, also because this exhibit was so enormous that I could fit one in. I could fit another large creature in. I'm not entirely sure what the Dreadnoughtus is. I might have completely missed it. So I'm following the path. I think all the sauropods are over there, but this is still. Oh, there's Dreadnoughtus. The Dreadnoughtus always seems to be on like the opposite side of the enclosure to everything else. I think this is the biggest one in the park. So it has a trumpet roar and a big. Right up close to the face. Yeah, but that is pretty much that's the sauropod conservation area done, basically. Just gonna speed this thing up. Let's control. That's fast. It's way too fast for me, so we get back on the monorail. We move on to the next area. Quite like having the redwood trees right up against the monorail. It makes it a little entrancey area. So another plaza, which is something I enjoy making. Restrooms, stuff. It's just some stuff. And this is the other biggest exhibit in the park. So it has a gyrosphere and several viewing towers and stuff. So I guess we'll follow the route of the gyrosphere. This is my Ceratopsian exhibit. So I should have said this, but this is kind of like the armoured dinosaur conservation area, I guess. I'm just kind of zooming around here just because I can't. There's no dinosaurs. I think I may be going the wrong way around the track, but yeah, I'm going the wrong way around the track. Yeah, there's Paleo feeders here, but seems as though this part of it is completely empty. And again, I have, I think, 3 species in... Oh no, I have 4 species in here. Here's some. is, I guess, I think this is the second most common species in the exhibit. This is Chasmosaurus. One of, if not my favourite ceratopsian, mainly because of Planet Dinosaur, and also because it was in this, and I love it in this. This is another one of the most underrated animals in the entire game, honestly. Chasmosauruses. And some Pentaceratops, other underrated dinosaurs which I like a lot, but not quite as much. They're a little bit more ridiculous, but they're quite cool mountain goats. Third underrated, but Torosaurus, but at least this one was in Walking with Dinosaurs. I really quite like the Torosaurus in this. It's got big eyes that make it very cute. And also Pentaceratopses. They're kind of the biggest animals in this exhibit. Let's find the last species. What's going on? I know, I may. Oh no, here they are. No Zootoceratops being in there because they're quite little, so they can kind of fill in a little. They can kind of fill in the common smaller animal niche in this exhibit. Yeah. Getting past some of the towers again, and the gyrospirans. Over here is my at this point in this in the kind of the next area along and this area after the ceratopsians, I kind of ran out of ideas, so it's a bit more lazy here. So I have a little Stegosauri exhibit with some Kentrosauruses because they're underrated and I like them, and Gigant Spinosaurus. And I mean, these things are some of the most ridiculous and amazing things ever, but they're not my favourites. I like the Hyungosaurus more personally, but it's popular because best in slot. Go through the fence and down to human level. And this is the last exhibit, which is very long, and you can only. It's a pretty bad exhibit for watching, but it means privacy, so yeah. This is a little, well, quite a big armoured animal exhibit with one sauropalter. I have to say, a lot of the ankylosaurine dinosaurs I feel are underrated yet very popular, and I like them yet I don't use them. So I really like sauropalter, but I just don't use it at all. And I really like Euoplocephalus, which is the other animal in the exhibit, but I also don't use it that much. See a little sneak peek at what's in the next exhibit. So I guess we can follow this long path to the next area. The monorail also heads this way, so yeah. Cross a little bridge. Another plaza, because everywhere deserves a plaza. Okay, and also a hotel, because I realised I hadn't put any hotels. So this is the same exhibit we saw over there with the Struthiomimuses. It's just another really big exhibit with a river going through it. So in here we've got a lot of Struthiomimuses. Struthiomimus? No, that was a horrid Australian accent. I am very, very sorry to the. I don't know. I don't think that. I doubt there are any Australians watching, but if you're an Australian watching, I'm sorry. And a Lorotitan. And I'm going to say it again. Underrated. I very rarely use it, but I also really like it. It's got really pretty head crest and stuff. If you just, I mean, just look at that crest. Hang on, just look at that crest. Look at the detail. They're so pretty, but I don't use them at all. Probably because I only recently got them, and because I didn't really do. Secrets of Doctor Wu was the second last DLC I did, because I got Return to Jurassic Park really late. Okay, this is the other main exhibit in the kind. Oh, there's another exhibit. Yeah, this is another exhibit in the kind of. How do I say it? This zone is kind of like the generally more friendly animals kind of thing. So here's an iguanodont exhibit with Oranosaurus, who's a very cute little, oh god, little chubby cute face. And iguanodon, possibly one of my favourite animals in the entire game. I love iguanodon. Also, I'm definitely not biased because I'm British. But iguanodons are lovely. Yeah, also they eat from the feeders with their using their hands, and they kind of eat it, and it looks like they're just so cute. They got little baby hands. And they're holding things like little babies. And eventually, I decided to I decided to have one more thing, and I decided to make it kind of like a panda breeding project. So we've got into one exhibit males, one exhibit females, and they can kind of be put together if you need to as like a breeding project to bring the species back. So this is the Motobarosaurus breeding project. Oh god. Over here is, I guess, oh yeah, over here are the 2 males in an exhibit, and I decided to make the males a little bit more colourful because generally that's how nature works. But that, you know, I don't mean to be sexist if you think that's sexist, but I didn't mean that. I should stop digging myself a hole. But and this is the females as well. So it's our project. And finally, my favourite area in this park, probably because I like carnivores a lot, but the main carnivore area. I'll just zoom along. Don't ask me why I decided to choose the hotel as the one area where you're going to hear the most animals roaring, but I did. So this area's got quite thick paths, and this is the carnivore area. Okay, so over here is just another kind of guest area, plaza and such. Hotels. I'm going to go back through here because they get bigger the closer they get to the plaza. So right over here we have a Deinonychus exhibit. Quite like making circles with a moat around it. I definitely did not get that from Best in Slot at all, but yeah, it's got some Deinonychuses. Got some green. I know there's a blue one, and I think a red one also. It might be hiding in the bush. Oh no, I'm stuck. Oh, there's a red one, and I know there's a blue one. That's another red one. Where is the blue one? Is that the green one? Hang on. That's the green one. I know there's a blue one. Maybe if I zoom out a bit. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There. And so, the neighbours of the Deinonychus are 3 Herrerasauruses. One of my favourite animals to use in the entire game. They just fit such an interesting and unique niche, being very big for small carnivores, and also they have a great sound design. So now we get to the actual big carnivores. Besides that one lonely Metrocanthosaurus. So as you can see over there, this exhibit is Albertosaurus. We've got two Tundra Albertosaurus, because Tundra Albertosaurus is the definitive best skin of any Albertosaurus. And when I say this, that's a fact, it's not an opinion. It's a fact. I really quite like the Albertosaurus in this. Albertosaurus. Again, they're kind of unique because they're not the same. They and Allosaurus fit a niche that no other animals in the game do, where they're not super carnivores like Acrocanthosaurus, Giga, Spino, or T-Rex, or Carcharodontosaurus. But they're not medium carnivores like Carnotaurus, Metrocanthosaurus, or Ceratosaurus. So because they're kind of a bit bigger than that. And speaking of Carnotaurus, over here we have a kind of a more rough and rugged exhibit for Carnotaurus. The literal, it looks like a devil, but I mean in reality those horns would have been much more kind of small and flimsy, more for display, because that thing looks like it would headbutt you and impale you like Satan. But they're not Satan. It's very. I like Carnotaurus, but it's not my favourite dinosaur in the game. So over here we have the last 2 dinosaurs in the park, and that will be done, really. So over here we have 2 Suchomimuses. I was very conflicted as to whether I should put some Suchomimus or Baryonyx in here, but eventually I chose Suchomimus. I like the Baryonyx a lot, but I think Superman kind of fits a bit of a Gariel kind of aspect, and Gariels are very, very endangered, so I feel like that would work best. Good. So I like these a lot. And the other exhibit is possibly. Well, so I'm just going. You probably already saw the dinosaur there, but if you're not accustomed with the game, I might be able to make it a revealing still. But most large carnivores, except for Ceratosaurus, are either 1s or 2s. I decided, because I was feeling a bit adventurous, to use the Doctor Who DLC's comfort genes to put three giant carnivores in one exhibit. So I have 3 Giganotosauruses in one exhibit. And they are quite impressive. I hadn't gotten the game when they were small, but I do remember watching the videos and realizing that the Giga was barely bigger than Cerato. Now they are enormous. I think currently in the game they're equal in size. They're slightly bigger than the Spinosaurus and equal in size to Indominus Rex, which is quite impressive. Inaccurate, because it turns out, according to new research, T-Rex is the biggest again. As the Dapper Spinosaur, I am disappointed, but science about science for you, and you can't argue with science really. So, unfortunately, you were the biggest once. Giga was the biggest once in the early 2000s before Spino was properly discovered, and ever since then it's been a 2-horse race between Spino and T-Rex, which T-Rex is currently winning. I quite like just how massive those heads are, though. It's ridiculous. And that really does conclude the tour, because we're back at the base. However, I have one last thing to say. In the comments, I'm going to put a little quiz down. So from some of my favourite prehistoric documentaries, I'm going to put like a quote from several documentaries, and in the comments. And what I want people to do is go down to the comments, reply to my comment with for every quote what documentary it's from, and if it's a documentary with multiple episodes, what episodes it's from as well. And yeah, so if you could do that, that would be great. If you could do that. Yeah. So this is pretty much it. I've been the Dapper Spinosaurus. See ya. Well.